company and had been previously employed as an aide and press secretary to Russia's energy minister. Ivanka Trump forwarded the email to Cohen. He told the office that, after receiving this inquiry, he had conducted an internet search for Kolokolov's name and concluded, incorrectly, that Kolokolov was a former Olympic weightlifter. Between November 18th and 19th, 2015, Kolokolov and Cohen had at least one telephone call and exchanged several emails. Describing himself in emails to Cohen as a trusted person who could offer the campaign political synergy and synergy on a government level, Kolokolov recommended that Cohen travel to Russia to speak with him and an unidentified intermediary. Kolokolov said that those conversations could facilitate a later meeting in Russia between the candidate and an individual Kolokolov described as our person of interest. In an email to the office, Erikova later identified the person of interest as Russian President Vladimir Putin. In the telephone call and follow-on emails with Kolokolov, Cohen discussed his desire to use a near-term trip to Russia to do site surveys and to talk over the Trump-Moscow project with local developers. Cohen registered his willingness also to meet with Kolokolov and the unidentified intermediary, but was emphatic that all meetings in Russia involving him or candidate Trump, including a possible meeting between candidate Trump and Putin, would need to be in conjunction with the development and an official visit, with the Trump organization receiving a formal invitation to visit. Kolokolov had written previously that the visit by candidate Trump to Russia has to be informal. Kolokolov also previously recommended to Cohen that he separate their negotiations over a possible meeting between Trump and the person of interest from any existing business track. Re-emphasizing that his outreach was not done on behalf of any business, Kolokolov added in a second email to Cohen that, if well publicized, such a meeting could have phenomenal impact in a business dimension with the person of interest's most important support and could have significant ramifications for the level of projects and their capacity. Kolokolov concluded by telling Cohen that there were no bigger warranting any project than the consent of the person of interest. Cohen rejected the proposal, saying that currently our LOI developer is in talk with VP's chief of staff and arranging a formal invite for the two to meet. This email appears to be their final exchange, and the investigation did not identify evidence that Cohen had brought Kolokolov's initial offer of assistance to the campaign's attention or that anyone associated with the Trump organization or the campaign dealt with Kolokolov at a later date. Cohen explained that he did not pursue the proposed meeting because he was already working on the Moscow project with Sater, who Cohen understood to have his own connections to the Russian government. By late December 2015, however, Cohen was complaining that Sater had not been able to use his connections to set up the promised meeting with Russian government officials. Cohen told Sater that he was setting up the meeting myself. On January 11, 2016, Cohen emailed the office of Dmitry Peskov, the Russian government's press secretary, indicating he desired contact with Sergei Ivanov, Putin's chief of staff. Cohen erroneously used the email address instead of... So apparently, the email did not go through. On January 14, 2016, Cohen emailed a different address with the following message. Dear Mr. Peskov, over the past few months, I have been working with the company based in Russia regarding the development of a Trump Tower Moscow project in Moscow City. Without getting into lengthy specifics, the communication between our two sides has stalled. As this project is too important, I am hereby requesting your assistance. I respectfully request someone, preferably you, contact me so that I might discuss the specifics as well as arranging meetings with the appropriate individuals. I thank you in advance for your assistance and look forward to hearing from you soon. 2 days later, Cohen sent an email to repeating this request to speak with Sergei Ivanov. Cohen testified to Congress and initially told the office that he did not recall receiving a response to his email inquiry and that he decided to terminate any further work on the Trump-Moscow project as of January 2016. Cohen later admitted that these statements were false. In fact, Cohen had received, and recalled receiving, a response to his inquiry, and continued to work on and update candidate Trump on the project as late as June 2016. On January 20th, 2016, Cohen received an email from Elena Polyakova, Peskov's personal assistant. Writing from her personal email account, Polyakova stated that she had been trying to reach Cohen and asked that he call her on the personal number she provided. Shortly after receiving Polyakova's email, Cohen called and spoke to her for 20 minutes. Cohen described to Polyakova his position at the Trump Organization and outlined the proposed Trump-Moscow project, including information that the Russian counterparty with which the Trump Organization had partnered. Cohen requested assistance in moving the project forward, both in securing land to build the project and with financing. According to Cohen, Polyakova asked detailed questions and took notes, stating that she would need to follow up with others in Russia. Cohen could not recall any direct follow-up from Polyakova or from any other representative of the Russian government, nor did the office identify any evidence of direct follow-up. However, the day after Cohen's call with Polyakova, Sater texted Cohen, asking him to call me when you have a few minutes to chat. It's about Putin. They called today. Sater then sent a draft invitation for Cohen to visit Moscow to discuss the Trump-Moscow project, along with a note to tell me if the letter is good as amended by me or make whatever changes you want and send it back. After a further round of edits on January 25, 2016, Sater sent Cohen an invitation signed by Andrei Rabininsky of the company MHJ to travel to Moscow for a working visit about the prospects of development and the construction business in Russia, the various land plots available suited for construction of this enormous tower, and the opportunity to coordinate a follow-up visit to Moscow by Mr. Donald Trump. According